And the next of our events on the track, our mixed 5,000 metres second mixed event for this evening. Then we roll into our A races, our men's and women's A 5,000 metres, where there's $1,500 and $250 cash up for grabs for first, second and third respectively. So I've actually got the same pacemaker as our previous race, aiming for under 18 minutes this time, or low 18s. So they'll be looking to roll around somewhere between 3:35 and 3:40 per kilometre. So for a bit of context, that's about the same pace as our leader went through the first couple of laps in last time, but as a breakaway. So let's see if they can do it as a bit of a pack this time. Let's see if there are any breakaway athletes. Because the first athletes in the previous race did go about a minute faster than we expected. Let's see if it's going to happen all again. So athletes in this second of our mixed 5,000 metre events, looks like someone already is charging towards the front of the pack. Henry Burton, as our pacemaker remains composed and calm, just trying to find his way into 18-minute pace. So competitors in this mixed event: Michaela Young of Collingwood, Rob Petrie, unattached, Jonathan Mansour from Melbourne University, Robert Trott from Mornington Peninsula, Alex Harrison, unattached, Chris Grundy, unattached, Alexandra Schultz, Williamstown, Aileen Prendergast, Melbourne Uni, Anna Coldham, unattached, Scott Selwood, unattached, Emily Dalziel, unattached, Henry Burton, you guessed it, unattached, Chelsea Saw, Melbourne University, Harrison Manias, unattached, Lionel Worth, unattached, Joshua Simons from Collingwood, Joshua Rolach, Gary Murphy from Essendon, Alice Wilkinson, Bradley Wine from Glen Huntley, Eliza Eddy, Keegan Taylor from CBCW, Abigail Burra, unattached, and Dino Imbriano. So that's your field of 24 athletes. It is Henry Burton, our unattached athlete, who is running in that same breakaway style as the athlete in our previous race did. And it almost works for him, so who knows? He's lapped his watch, he's keeping an eye on the time. He might have his own plan. Whereas our pack of athletes, led around by a pacemaker, is aiming for that 3:35 per K sort of pace. So no, if they go through this second lap in about 2:50, they'll be right on. And it's starting to look like a long train of athletes. It almost might be a race in three, or three packs anyway. And they go through that first two laps in 2:50, so on for a time of about 17:50, just under that 18-minute mark, with Henry Burton still leading everyone away as our cheeky breakaway, whilst the peloton stalks. We'll see what they go through the first kilometre in. So Selwood, Grundy and Harrison are our next three athletes who are sitting patiently behind our pacemaker. That's a nice little pack form there. Just go through the first three laps. And still a gap of about 50, 60 odd metres from Henry Burton on the rest of the field. It was more heading for low 17 minutes rather than low 18s. Now, I don't know about his pacemaking, but what I do know is the lap scorers and photo finish officials will not like how his hip number is placed just under his shorts. Alexandra Schultz and Chris Grundy. They're your 1-2 sitting behind the pacemaker. Selwood's right there, as is Coldham. 4x4. So Schultz, Grundy, Selwood, that is former AFL player Scott Selwood in that pack there as well. Anna Coldham, Abigail Burra. Just forming that nice little train behind our pacemaker. So we'll look for the 2K time. Going through in 7:10. So that's that 3:35 pace. Setting themselves up for a sub 18. And still about a 60 metre lead or so Henry Burton finds himself with. Way out the front of the pack, running it solo, but not slipping up his pace all that much. But I do like this chase pack. Schultz, Grundy, Selwood, Coldham and Burra. Now pacemaker having some words to the rest of the field. Grundy's had enough. Pacemaker trying to do his best. Might be what the words are about. He said, if you want to go, you go. I'm not going any faster than this. This is my pace. I'm setting it. If you're going to go faster, I'll see you later. And I dare say he will step off the track pretty soon as the athletes are either getting impatient or the pacemaker's just slowing down off the pace. So Grundy, Schultz, Coldham. Our pacemaker there going through 2.4 kilometres. Selwood and Bra. And camera back on Burton. He's still looking very comfortable. 2.6 kilometres into this 5 kilometre event. And we see Grundy, Schultz, Coldham, Selwood and Bra. Pacemaker just hanging on in the middle of that pack. They're taking him for a ride now. It'll be a pretty good place to be right in the middle of that pack. As we said, not all that windy here at Box Hill anymore. It was a bit earlier. Not all that much rain either. It's cleared up for now. Coming up to that 3K mark. Going through a time in about 10:30 would set Burton up for a 17:30. And I'd say they're bridging that gap. So Grundy, Schultz, Coldham, Selwood and Burra going through in 10:50. So still setting themselves up to run a sub-18. So it's got to close that last 2 kilometres in that 3:35 pace. And I just commented on the weather saying it's not raining all that much yet. Well, now it's just started to pour. So the athletes might feel that a little bit over these last 2Ks. Maybe a bit of relief from the humidity. Who knows? And just like the race before this, that gap at the front of the field still hanging around that 50 to 60 metre mark. I thought it was being bridged about a minute ago, but it does not seem to be. Schultz is doing all the work, out the front of that next pack now. It was Grundy, but now it's Schultz, Coldham, Grundy, the tall figure in Selwood, just trailing Grundy, and Burra doing her best to hang on. But Burton just lapping his watch once again. With 4 laps to go. 4 laps to go for the leaders as the umbrellas come up in the crowd trackside. At least it's not windy. I don't think it's windy out there. There's pouring rain, but there's no wind. So Burton still holding that lead of about, well, probably 40 metres now. Maybe that pack is just closing in. But his 3 laps going to be enough time to do it. I'm loving that train of athletes who are chasing Burton as he checks his watch for another time with 3 laps to go. The lead changes again now with Coldham leading out that pack. Former AFL athlete Scott Selwood just goes up on the shoulder and passes Coldham with 3 laps to go. Grundy's still there. Schultz is still there. Burra is almost holding on, but just slipping a little bit. So they're really working together out there with a bit over 1 kilometre to run. And that gap is closing. About 40, maybe even 35 metres between the pack and Burton out in the lead. They are all going to run under 18 minutes. It's just a matter of how far under. So they've been running a pace of about 3:35. They just have to close in a 3:45. So 2 laps to go for Burton. And he holds a 20-metre lead now over Scott Selwood. Coldham running strong, kind of in no man's land now. And so is Grundy. Burra's just past Schultz. And she's still holding on to her pace. And there is a string of athletes. They're spread out around the track now. 700 metres to go for the leaders. Is Burton going to get caught by Selwood? Maybe Coldham as well. Further back in the field, Grundy might even be slipping. Burra might not be done yet in 4th position. Now it's 15 metres. The gap with 600 metres to go. Maybe even 10 metres. As Selwood starts to put the burners on. Hope he hasn't gone too early. He is led for 4,500 metres. But Henry Burton is about to be passed by Selwood. And with 1 lap to go, Selwood glances up at the clock, passes Burton. Goes through in a 16:15. Would have to run hard to go 17.5, but will well and truly go under 18. As will Anna Coldham, Grundy, Burra, and Schultz will probably hang on for a sub 18 as well. Rob Petrie coming to join the party with 1 lap to go. He'll go low 18s. And Selwood running strong, but Burton not going to let him do it easy. But it looks like Selwood might just have another gear as he rounds the discus cage for that last time. 150 metres to go. Burton has a sniff. Maybe Selwood. There's a bit more left in him as he enters the home straight for the final time. He's going to go, he might even go mid-17s here. Huge finish. He was 17:25. Scott Selwood. Henry Mariner finishing a close second after doing the work for all the race solo. Anna Coldham finishing strong. Chris Grundy. Abigail Burra. So Anna Coldham's 17:42.45 for Grundy. 48 for Burra. Schultz doing a lot of work in the middle stages of that event. Going through under 18 minutes. And Petrie come from nowhere to go under 18 as well. as the athletes flood across the line. Said most of them are going for those low 18s. $18.32, $33, $34.